Okay, so this is Mrs. James. We're going to do a little order of operations today. So take out your integer notebook, integer notes, and turn to, we're going to take notes right here in this bottom corner. So make sure you have that. Just make sure also that you pause if you ever need some more time to take something out, to redo something. Just pause the video and start it again if I am going too fast for you. So I'm going to put this down. Let's take some notes on order of operations. Something you've probably done a little bit in 5th and 6th grade. So we'll just title this here, Order of Operations. So I'm going to stick with the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally order. There's also lots of different ways that you can say order of operations. There's GEMS. I just heard of that. That was grouping symbols, exponents, multiplication, division, subtraction, addition, GEMS, which I thought was kind of cool. But something I hadn't heard before. I'm going to stick today with the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which I think most of us are familiar with. And the please, the P, stands for parentheses, or grouping symbols. So I'm going to put a P inside. And this stands for parentheses. I had a student a long time ago, and he would say, parenthesis, parentheses, or brackets if they're not curved. Brackets are also parentheses, grouping symbols. So that's the first thing you would work on in the order of operations, whatever is inside of the parentheses. Okay, let me get a different color. Next, the excuse part, the E, is exponents. So you would simplify after doing whatever's inside of the brackets or parentheses, grouping symbols. You would simplify any exponents the number has on it, or roots. So please excuse, PE. And I think also people call this PEMDAS. That might be the more popular way lately. I think I've heard students come in saying, PEMDAS? I'm making 2 boxes here because you do these 2 things, whichever comes first in the problem. So you don't necessarily do the multiplication first and then the division. You can switch those around, whatever comes first in the problem. So that M and D stands for multiplication and division. Multiply, divide. But the important thing is you do whatever one of these comes first in the problem. So whatever comes first when you're reading the problem from left to right, just like you read a book. Whichever comes first, multiplication or division, that's what you would do next to simplify your expression. And then last, this is not the prettiest, not make great boxes. Addition and subtraction. And again, whatever comes first in the problem, you don't have to do the addition first. If the subtraction comes first in the problem, you would do the subtraction first. So add, subtract from left to right. If you need to pause at any time, make sure you do so. So PEMDAS. PEMDAS. You do the grouping symbols first, whatever's inside of those. Simplify your exponents. Do any multiplication or division first, or after exponents and parentheses. And then the very last operations you would do would be to add or subtract. Let's try some. I'm actually going to give you a couple of examples first. So let's write these down and then I'll give you some to try. Okay, so let's show you. Please write down 17 minus 5 squared divided by, in parentheses, 2 plus 3. So I'm going to follow my PEMDAS from the top down. So that means first, I'm going to do what's inside my parentheses. Super easy. 2 plus 3. 5. And then I'm going to bring the rest down, just like it is. So you can write it backwards, write it forwards, but you're writing it just the way it is. Okay, looks simpler already. So next I'm going to look for, I got rid of my parentheses, I'm going to do this exponent. I'm going to simplify 5 squared. Highlight that. And I know that the squared means I'm going to multiply this number by itself 2 times. So 5 times 5 is 25. So 17, I'm going to write the 17 over, minus, this now becomes 25 divided by 5. All right, a little simpler. So I did those 2. Is there any multiplication or division? And there is. There's division right here. So I'm gonna, don't want to subtract yet. I'm gonna divide this negative 25 by 5. And in integer rules, a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 5 goes into 25 5 times. So I'm going to bring down the 17. I'm going to highlight what we just did. Gosh, it's like a Dorito. It's getting the shape of a Dorito. All right, and then last, I just have to subtract those 2. 17 minus 5 is 12. And that's it. It's like a Dorito. Look it. It's making me hungry. It got simpler and simpler. And if we follow the order, we should all get the same answer, which is why PEMDAS was put into place, so that we all end up with the same answer. If we all skip around doing the different operations at different times, we're all going to get different answers. That's not what we want. All right, I'm going to do another example for you. This one's going to look a little different. So 10 minus 2 squared. Then this whole thing is divided by 3. And then this whole thing has 7 minus 11 added to it. Looks a little tricky. So we're going to think about it for a second. I don't see any grouping symbols, so I'm going to work on this exponent first. And 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to rewrite this with the 2 times 2 as a 4. And now it looks a little bit simpler. I'm going to need to divide by this 3. But before I can do that, I have to do 10 minus 4 so I know what I'm going to be dividing by. So next, so that I can get to the multiplication division part, or the division part, I actually have to get a number for 10 minus 4 so I can divide 3 by it. So 10 minus 4 is 6. And now you can see that I can do that division. It's pretty simple. 3 goes into 6 twice. I'm running out of space. I'm so sorry. So 2 plus 7 minus 11. I'm going to do the 2 plus 7 is 9. And in our heads, let's just do this because I'm running out of room. So that's 9, and 9 minus 11, that's different sign, subtract. So we've got a -2 as our answer, right down here at the bottom. So this one was a little trickier because it had this division sign in the middle of it. And again, making Doritos. I'm going to give you a couple to try. So that's right. You try. Here's your first one. Yeah. Let's do 2 to the 3rd power minus 8 divided by 4. Times 2 plus 7. I would like you to pause right now. Give yourself a minute to try. Okay, let's see how you did. I don't see any grouping symbols. So we're going to be starting to simplify with the exponent. It's to the 3rd power, which means we're going to multiply 2 3 times. So this is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So this becomes 8 minus 8 divided by 4 times 2 plus 7. And right away I want to subtract those two because I know those are 0 pairs. They're opposites, they would just be 0, but that's not following the order of operations because there's a division sign in there and a multiplication sign, so I have to wait on the addition and subtraction. So I'm going to divide first because that comes first in the problem. I'm going to divide 4 into -8. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. I'm going to write everything else down here. I'm going to do my multiplication. -2 times 2, negative times a positive is a -4. And now I can do that subtraction. It comes first. So 8 minus 4 is 4. Bring down the plus 7. And 4 plus 7 is 11. So if you didn't get 11, go ahead and write this problem down on another piece of paper and try it again in like 5 or 10 minutes. Let your brain rest a second and try it again and you can check your answer. So let's go to the next you try. I'm going to make this one blue. Oops, number 2. All right, write this down. 5 squared plus 20. Notice I'm putting it kind of higher because it's going to be divided by 3 times 2. Okay, go ahead and pause and try this one. All right. I see an exponent, so I'm gonna start by simplifying the 5 squared. which is 25. Write the rest of the problem. And by the way, when you are completing these in class or in a homework assignment, you need to show me every step. I know, fun times, but you've got to show me. I want to see that you know the steps to take. And if I just see an answer and it's wrong, I will have no idea if you have any idea what you're doing. So make sure that you show me each step. It also helps you keep organized so you make less mistakes. Okay, so next, I want to do this division. Actually, let's do this multiplication, and then we'll work on trying to do this dividing. But if I don't know what these two numbers are, I won't be able to divide. So let's actually simplify both the top and the bottom here. So I'm going to subtract 8 from 20, and I'm going to multiply 3 times 2. So I can get just a number on the top and the bottom. So I rewrite my 25 plus 20 minus 8 is 12. And 3 times 2 is 6. Now that looks much simpler. So if you have the division sign, simplify the top and the bottom so that you can just get two numbers to divide. And then I'm going to divide. So 6 goes into 12 twice. And I'm going to add that to 25. 25 plus 2 is 27. And that is most simplified, following PEMDAS, following the order of operations. Okay, so that is our notes for today. Be prepared to take a little homework quiz on order of operations when you come into class next time. Your notes should look like mine. And if you need to watch this again, or 3 times or 4 times, whatever you need, go ahead and do that, and I will see you in class.